Going to believe who I'm with here. My close personal friend, the one, the only, Mr. Mike Matheny.
I've never seen you before in my life.
All right, Mike. We can agree to disagree, but one thing we can agree on.
Get your baseball news at one Cardinal, one Cub, and one beer.
What's your favorite? Vince Hopper?
And the other guy?
JJ?
Oh, yeah.
All right. It's like I figured it out.
All right, Vince is the man. MVP.
yeah. Stress. So. All right. Hey, welcome to our next episode of One Cardinal, One Cub, and no beer. It's too cold to have beer.
Frozen beer. Beer sickles.
One Cardinal, One Cub, and one hot cup of cocoa with marshmallows.
That sounds so good.
Yes, it does.
Yes, very soothing.
But it's 24 degrees. I don't know what I'm complaining about because
that's up.
Days it's been below zero. So
it sure has. I've been hibernating.
Yeah. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you can have our information as soon as it drops. If you are on Facebook, please make sure that you like and follow us on Facebook. And if you would like to get a hold of us, you can get a hold of us through any of our platforms by leaving a comment or sending a DM to JJ or myself, or you can do email onecard1cup1beer@gmail.com. For those of you who would like to support our efforts, and like I always say, who wouldn't? It's an investment. It's an investment. You can go to Patreon and type in the search bar, one card, one cup, one beer, and we will come up and you can support us either $10, $5, or $3 a month. And all of your support is greatly appreciated, is it not, JJ?
It is so appreciated. I thank the Lord every day for
it. Are you as completely disinterested in a Seattle New England Super Bowl as I am?
You know, I kind of, when the Rams left St. Louis, that was strike two because I love the Cardinals. I love the football Cardinals almost as much as I love baseball Cardinals. And when they left, it just kind of, you pour your heart. They want you to pour your heart and soul in a team. Then we get the Rams, and I said, I don't care. And then all of a sudden the Rams, you get to know the players, and and you're like, all right, I'm back. And then they leave. So, I just watch from afar, and Brody talks me into making some bets, and I'm hanging above water on the bets. But other than that, I like to see Seattle get a revenge for that Super Bowl. They could have just handed it to Marshawn Lynch, and he could have fell in the end zone. So that's kind of a neat storyline there. Can they come back and get it this time?
I don't like Seattle, and I don't like the Patriots. I do not. I'm kind of ambivalent about the Rams now. I still like them when they left because I like the players, but now I'm like, well, it's the Rams. It's not like they excited me. And I really do hate the Broncos. One of my good friends is a Broncos fan, and in the 90s, I just heard about it all the time because they were winning Super Bowls and all this other stuff. And
yes.
Yeah, so
I tell you what, I lived in Seattle, and they are crazy about the Seahawks. Even when the Mariners, had all the superstars, they had A-Rod and Randy Johnson and Griffey. They followed baseball until football started, and that was Seahawk territory. And you would see bumper stickers everywhere, and they just love their football up there. I always thought St. Louis was more of a, we followed the football team, but it was more of a baseball city, but not in Seattle. That's all football up there.
Man, I will watch a Super Bowl just because I have nothing else to do. But I'm not excited about this at all. You want to know what I am excited about? Baseball transactions, and we got a lot of them.
It's getting closer, Vince.
It is getting so close. Harrison Bader has signed with the Giants for 2 years, and I assume he's going to play some right field. He's going to be the replacement of Mike Yastrzemski, and Bader's always going to bring a good glove, and he's a streaky hitter, so he's going to have times where he's going to look like Ted Williams, and he's going to have times when he looks like Ted the teddy bear from the movie Ted. That's just the way Harrison plays.
He had his best offensive year last year, though. But San Francisco's a big outfield. They need almost 3 center fielders to cover that outfield. So he'll be perfect there. But I don't look for his offensive numbers to keep climbing. I think it'll probably the power numbers will go down there.
Yeah, probably will. He'll get a few more doubles, maybe a couple more triples.
Well, that's true.
In the gap, but some of those hits to left the park, they're going to be flyouts. So, White Sox signed Sir Anthony Dominguez for 2 years for $20 million. And quietly, the White Sox have done quite a bit this year. They signed the Japanese third baseman. I think he's a third baseman anyway, Japanese power hitter. They got a good deal on him. And they made some other deals to strengthen their team. And I like how they're doing this. They're not, they just traded Luis Roberts. I'll get into that in a minute for a couple of prospects. They realize that we are going in a different direction, but they've added a few people like Sir Anthony Dominguez, who gives them a little bit of veteran leadership. And so hopefully they can, be above 100 losses this year. They improved by almost 20 losses. So
yeah, we need to have that White Sox guy back. I loved him. He had his love for his White Sox on his sleeve. You got the Pope and you got Obama as the fan. They're putting together. Their fan base is pretty highfalutin there now.
Yeah. So a little bit of optimism in the South Side. Pretty cool. The Mariners obtained swingman Cooper Criswell from the Mets for cash. So they're trying to add on to a very successful season. In a big trade, the Rangers get Mackenzie Gore from the Nationals for 5 prospects. And for those of you who are Cub fans and you want to know why we didn't get Mackenzie Gore, because they wanted 5 prospects. They wanted Jackson Wiggins. They also wanted Owen Casey and probably a few of the others that that went into the trade to get the guy from Miami.
Cabrera.
Cabrera, yes. So,
I got a feeling your 5 prospects, though, were higher quality than the Rangers' 5 prospects because
I don't know, Art.
Your guys was really good. Their 5, I don't know if we'll see maybe 2. But that's the odds. You trade for a bunch of them. I've seen moves like that where you get 4 or 5 prospects and it sounds really good. And sometimes you never hear of those 5 guys again, maybe just very little.
Yeah, our prospects, our farm system is in the bottom half now. And that's kind of how it goes because we've had Shaw come up. We've had Ballesteros come up. We traded away Casey. So we had Cade Horton come up. So we're kind of in a lull. So we just didn't have what they were asking for Mackenzie Gore. So Rangers Suarez is going to the Red Sox, 5 years, $130 million. And the Sox also traded third baseman Tristan Gray to the Twins for catcher Nate Baez, Joan Baez's son, I think.
Calm to the locker room.
I don't know how good he'll do in Minnesota, but when he goes south, there's going to be a night when he's going to drive old Dixie down.
Oh yeah.
I went a long way for that joke. Probably only people over 60 understand. Okay. The Mets have signed right-handed pitcher Luis Garcia, 1 year, $1.75 million. They get Freddie Peralta and Tobias Myers from the Brewers for 2 prospects. They also signed Craig Kimbrell to a minor league contract, and they finished off the week by trading 2 prospects to the White Sox for Luis Roberts Jr. A few weeks ago, we were saying, gosh, what's wrong with the Mets? And then suddenly the last 2 weeks, they've had a barrage of moves. So they are, I have to see it on the field first. I just don't trust them with all this talent.
It sounds good on paper.
last year, yeah. So, uh, and they got Bo Bichette last week. So, okay.
Yeah.
Rocky signed utility man Willie Castro to a 1-year deal, which was interesting. That's who the Cubs had last year, got at the trade deadline. And I was excited about the trade. The guy can play the infield, he can play the outfield, he's got a stick. He's a good person off the bench, and he decided he didn't want to hit for us. Oh, well. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim signed Jan Moncada to a 1-year deal. The Twins signed catcher, first baseman, designated hitter Victor Caratini, former Cub, to a 2-year deal. And I really, really like that move. I thought that Caratini was always good with Cubs. And then he played with the Padres, and he played with the Brewers. And he is that backup guy you can give 350, 400 at bats to. He's going to come through. He's just a versatile guy to have. They also signed left-handed pitcher Taylor Rogers, who finished the year at the trade deadline with the Cubs and sported a 5 ERA with the Cubs. So you can have him. This is exciting. Jose Ramirez has signed a contract extension, 7 years, $175 million to stay in Cleveland, which means he is going to retire a Cleveland Guardian, which I know JJ loves. He loves players who stay in a city for a long time. And uh, Jose, when I went to Cleveland to watch them play a few years ago, the fans think of him in the same regard as Cardinal fans think of Yachty. Just nothing but respect, just a class guy, and got a heck of a right hook. I mean, just ask
Tim
Tim
Anderson.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
finally, Cody Bellinger is staying with the Yankees 5 years, $162 million. And if I was Cody Bellinger, I would have stayed in New York with that little right field porch where the wind howls out. And there are some hitters. He was never going to hit like that in Wrigley because left-handers are having a very difficult time putting the ball out the last couple of seasons. So good for him. He finally has that $30 million a year contract, and I'm not going to feel sorry for him anymore. Okay. Report came out this week that Yu Darvish is retiring. Then Yu Darvish came out and said, "Nah, I don't know. I may retire. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet." So Yu Darvish might retire. He might not. So there you go. We have a very interesting situation going on in Detroit where we have uh, arbitration with Tarek Skubal.
Oh yes.
The Tigers offered 19 million, and he wants 32 million.
That's a big.
That's going to be an arbitration record.
Yes.
The way arbitration works is he's either going to get 19 million or 32 million. The arbitrators, I think there's 3 of them, they will decide how much they think he's worth. And if he is just $1 over the halfway point, they think he's worth, I don't know, what is that? Difference of 13, so 7. So let's say they say he's worth 27 million. And that's closer to 32 than 19, then he's going to get his 32. That's the way arbitration works. Let's
Wow.
say, oh, he's only worth 25 million, then he's going to get 19 million. There is a lot of rumblings that Detroit is looking to trade him before this arbitration, which tells me Detroit absolutely cannot afford a $32 million contract with him. He's got friends on the Cubs.
Whoa.
Oh, he's been on Ian Happ's podcast. Um, but like I said, we don't quite have the prospects to make a huge haul like that. I'm sure that the Tigers are shopping him around, but I'm sure they're also asking for uh, everything, including paper instead of plastic. So he's going to be rich. I remember years ago when arbitration first started, Mike Norris went to arbitration. He just won 22 games. And I mean, they were all, it was like one side was offering 200,000, the other side was offering like 250,000. I mean, it sounded like huge numbers back then, but it's nothing now. And Mike
Right.
Norris said, "I'm really not too concerned about it. I'm either going to be rich or richer." Good way to look at it. Um, no obituaries this week. Very good.
That's always a good week.
JJ,
Yeah.
what are you seeing in Major League Baseball news that we need to talk about?
Well, I always look at the little things. MLB has their channel where they have their top 100 players, and every team was represented. Now, I think they do that on purpose because if there, I mean, you look at the top three and you go, okay, yeah, all right, Otani one, Judge two, all right. You see that and you agree with it. But somewhere in the middle, there are a panel of ex players and general managers and reporters and everything. But the Cardinals had one player in the top 100, and it's not who I thought it was. I thought it would be Mason Wynn or Brendan Donovan. I was thinking maybe one of those guys, perhaps, but it was at 98. We barely squeaked in there. Ivan Herrera, which I'm happy about. Doesn't really mean anything. It's just the experts say these are the top 100 players. But Vince, I always like to play these games. Would you like to take a guess at the top 5 teams with the most players in the top 100 MLB players? The top 100 players in baseball.
Dodgers.
Dodgers are number 1 with
Mets.
eight players. The Mets, well, this was before these trades they made.
Okay.
So they didn't have the Dodgers are 8. There's one team with 6, and there's 3 teams with 5 players in the top 500.
Okay. We'll go with the Blue Jays.
No, the Blue Jays were not in there. They were they had 4 players in the top 100.
We'll go with the Phillies.
Yes, the Phillies had 5 players in the top 100. They're tied with 2 other teams with 5. There's one team with 6, and then the Dodgers had 8. They got 2 of them. Who is it?
Yankees.
Yankees 6. Yankees had 6.
Okay.
So there's 2 teams tied with the I forgot what team you said. Oh, the Phillies. So there's 2 teams tied with the Phillies.
Braves.
No, American League, both American League teams.
Okay. I'll go with I'll go with the Orioles.
No, here's the other 2. It's the Seattle Mariners. They said had 5. I know, and here's one I didn't see. I didn't see this either. Those are Red Sox, but they've made a few moves too. But none of the moves with the Cardinals made it theirs go up any. But they say they got 5 at the top.
Go ahead.
Oh, the Cubs had 4, and it was Bergman, PCA, Michael Bush, and your Japanese right fielder. That's who they had in their top 4.
Yeah, and our best player didn't make the top 100. Nico Horner, who had the highest WAR, did not make the top 100. So I really don't give this any credence. I don't think Bo Bichette was on there.
Wow.
I know that Herrera can hit, but Mason Wynn is a much more well-rounded baseball player.
He plays all time.
Yeah, they had Bryce Terang like 62, and Nico Horner's not on there.
Yeah.
Come on.
I do like Terang, but Nico Horner's great.
I'm not saying Terang doesn't belong on there. I'm saying Horner should have been somewhere in the 50s.
Yeah, I would think so.
I think anybody, if you seriously, if they had representatives from each team in there, and they had a representative from the Cubs in there, they would have said, I like the 4 you got on here, but our best player is not on here. And the only reason people overlook him is because he doesn't hit home runs, but he hits everything else.
Great defensive player. The best
defensive second baseman in baseball right now. and he's a team leader. And I'm just like, ah. So when I saw they wasn't on there, I just
It's just
like,
it's just a fun thing because as fans, we always, I mean, every year the All-Star team is picked. You're like, what? So and so didn't make it? You got to be kidding! That guy made it. But every team does get one rep from that. But speaking of one, Pittsburgh and St. Louis both had one, and Paul Skeens, of course, Pittsburgh, he's in the top 10. So that's that. And the Reds had three. So there you go. Now, I was one transaction you didn't mention because there's tons of transactions, but the Cubs took a chance on Dylan Carlson.
oh, I was going to do that in Cub news. So,
Oh,
but go
I'm
ahead.
so sorry. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
that's okay.
Well, I tell you what, he's never lived up to what we drafted him very early in the draft. He's never become the player, but he is very good defensive, and he's got a good arm. And I think he'd make a good fourth outfielder. And you never know, one day you might put it all together and you guys get to fortune, because I've seen that happen a couple of times. Guys go to different teams for whatever reason, they just go to the right place and it clicks for them, or they're used properly. And maybe that's what's going to happen in Chicago. So
Well,
I'm pulling for them.
going into the week, our fourth outfielder by default was Kevin Alcantara. Um, he's there's nothing else for him to prove in AAA. If he doesn't get a roster spot, I think we trade him at the end of spring training, because what are we going to do? Put him down there and let him keep hitting? Send him to the Marlins, give him some playing time. But we picked up, we signed to minor league contracts Dylan Carlson and Chas McCormick. McCormick has more of an offensive track record. I mean, he was bad last year, but I mean, he's been really good. Carlson has never been what they thought he would be. And in fact, last year, I think his average was hovering around 200. So, I mean, it is a fourth outfield spot. It's probably a fourth outfield spot that's going to get a lot of playing time against um, left-handers, because facing a left-hander instead of Ballesteros DH, and we're going to have Seiya DH, and then we'll put someone in right field that will boost the defense a little bit. I don't think Seiya is a terrible defender. He's just average.
Yeah.
But I think that it's going to be interesting to watch spring training and to see how this race for this fourth outfield spot goes. And the way it works, I mean, they've signed minor league contracts. So if Alcantara wins, they're either going to be released or they're going to be playing in Iowa. And yeah, I'm kind of pulling for Alcantara. We've had him in the system since he was 16. No, since he was 18. He was with the Yankees before that in their system. A lot of athleticism. He just hasn't put it together yet. And he looks super cool, man. 6'6" frame and the dreads and everything. And, yeah, the Puma, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's the Puma.
Jaguar.
The Jaguar. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now I know who you're talking about. Okay. Well, I tell you what. Yeah. A lot of teams have these guys non-roster invitees, and they're just fighting for a job. And usually it's a guy who's been around a while and just trying to play one more year. So every team goes through that, and that's just part of the game. You got taking a chance on a guy, and sometimes they really come through. You were talking about Jose Ramirez, and I had a whole little thing written up about him. I am so happy staying with Cleveland. Now, during the press conference, he said, "I'd rather be happy than rich." Well, we can't feel. He got both of them. Now, he could have made more money out in the open market. That is true. But he is adored and loved. And I've seen some mock statues. They want to put a statue the fans do. And it's one of them was him like this and Tim Anderson on the ground. I was like, oh, they won't be doing that one. But that is funny. The fans have really come up with some good statues for him. And I love the guy, the way he plays. And he reminds me of a lot of I know he's not the same type of hitter, Tony Gwynn is, but he reminds me of Tony. He gets in there, got a thing in his cheek. He's looking around, and man, he's so smart. And he is even better than I thought he was. I was looking at his stats, Vince, and he's in the top 5 almost most of the Cleveland categories. Now, this new contract he still had a contract through this year and next year, but Cleveland said we want to make you a lifetime guardian. It's 7 years, 175 million with Cleveland, and that runs through 2032, which includes a $70 million deferred payment. So the Indians are doing it too, not to the extent our friends the Dodgers are, but they do. I think every team does some deferred payments, but it's 25 million a year, and the deferred payment, and that would take him up to his age 40 season. So I think that's fantastic. Now, here is some of the teams that have wrapped up players and give them extensions. It's usually the younger guys: Corbin Carroll, Julio Rodriguez, and Bobby Witt Jr. And what I was looking at, one of the things about Jose Ramirez is he's had 7 top 5 MVP finishes. That's amazing. 7 top 5. Of course, unfortunately, he's played with Ohtani in the same league. Trout and Judge are all in the league at the same time, and that's almost impossible. Those are, legendary players as well. But he's played 13 seasons, 1,668 hits, 398 doubles, 285 home runs. And if he stays healthy this year and hits his normal rate, he will go over 300 home runs this year. He has 287 stolen bases. So he steals about 40 bases a year the last few years. He'll go over 300 stolen bases. And I looked this up, Vince. There is only 8 players who have at least 30 stolen bases and 300 home runs and 300 stolen bases. 8. Now, there's only 8. Would you care to take a guess at some of these players? Some are surprises and
Mays.
some aren't. Yes, Willie Mays,
Bonds,
Barry Bonds, and Bobby Bonds.
Bobby.
Yeah, both
How
of
many
them.
did you say there were? 8.
8. One was a Cub.
One was a Cub.
Yeah. MVP for the Cubs.
Not Sandberg. Dawson.
Andre Dawson. So that's half of them right there.
Mantle.
No.
Oh.
Mickey Mantle didn't.
I know he got hurt earlier in his career, but
yes.
Oh, okay. So
one is an announcer now, and without the controversy, he'd be in the Hall of Fame, but he's messed that up.
No, it's not Schilling. A-Rod.
It's A-Rod. That's 5.
5, 3 more.
Yes. One just went in the Hall of Fame this year.
Let's see. Oh, Jones? Or no, Beltran.
Beltran. Now, Vince, I'm on the last 2. I think if me and you both had 100 guesses, we would have never got the last 2. The other 2, Reggie Sanders.
Wow.
305 home runs and 304 stolen bases. It's in the 300s. That counts.
He went so under the radar.
I agree. I thought he was a terrific player. And finally, Steve Finley is the other.
And I should have known Steve Finley because he played baseball at Southern Illinois. So I kind of kept up with him. Yeah.
That's another under the radar guy. Very quality player. He did everything he asked. Good defensively. He came through, had a power, steal some bases. I mean, that's amazing right there. So that's my little take on Carlos Ramirez. I'm just a fan, and I'm so glad he's staying. And I mean, he's already 4th in WAR, and he might take that over in about 3 years. Games played, he's 3rd in Cleveland history, 3rd in runs, 7th in hits, 3rd in doubles, and he's up there with names like Tris Speaker and Nap LaJoya. I never can say his last name. Thank you. You and Tony have to correct me. I can't say that darn name. He's second in home runs only to Jim Tomey, uh, second in RBIs, and second in stolen bases. Kenny Lofton has about 150 more stolen bases, but you never know. So my gosh, what a class guy! I can't wait. I tell my family I'm going to Cleveland. I'm going to go to Cleveland, but every year it gets pushed back a year, so I haven't made it yet.
I've I've been to hundreds of baseball games, and I would say it's got to be in my top five of electric moments is when me and Max went a few years ago, and he had two home runs, and he came up to bat at towards the end of the game, and everybody is on their feet. They want him to do it so bad, and I wanted him to do it so bad. I've I've never seen a three home run game live, so this was going to be cool if he did it. And by God, when that ball, and I don't know if you remember, but I had a video of it that I put on
I
there.
remember that.
When that ball just magically went off the bat and went into the air, it was like he did it again. Three home runs, and the crowd, you would have thought they won the pennant.
Yes.
The crowd, they're doing the Jose, 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 Jose chant, and he comes out of the dugout for his curtain call, and everybody goes wild. It was so cool, and I thought, wow, I just came to see a ball game. Like earlier that week, we went to see Pittsburgh play the Athletics. That was just a ball game. So I was not expecting to see something so cool, and and the ballpark in Cleveland's kind of maligned. I loved it. Huge concourse. You're not bumping into people. Small seating capacity. Um, so it looks full all the time. But by golly, it was a cool ballpark. It was a cool atmosphere. We had great seats, and we're sitting amongst Red Sox fans, and they were even cheering when he hit the third home run. So
That's baseball right there. You go to a game and you say, I've watched, been a fan 50 years. I've seen pretty much everything, but you never know. There's always something new that you didn't even comprehend. Like, I didn't think that was a possibility, and you'll see it on that day. And that's just, I just love the possibilities of a baseball game. You just never know. And like you said, the Red Sox fans were there and they were cheering the opposing team because it was such a moment. I think that is so cool. Well, Vince, there was something came up. Okay, so you got Jose Ramirez on one side, and then I don't know if you heard this story, but Andrew McCutchen, he wanted. I think he wants to play one more year. He'd like to play one more year with the Pirates, and he didn't even get a phone call from. And he's actually a free agent. He didn't even get. He says he didn't get a phone call from the team. I think they at least owe you a phone call, and there's always that time in your career where you're like, well, the team's like, we want to move on, or you're this age now, or we have a young guy who plays the same position. It's always a tough call. But he mentioned some of the other teams, like the Tigers with Miguel Cabrera, and the Dodgers with Kershaw, and the Cardinals with Yachty and Pujols and Wainwright. So I didn't know how you felt about that. I would love to have. I mean, the Pittsburgh Pirates, unless they had just had some young player, they, maybe he could agree this could be my last year, because I know the Braves did it with Chipper Jones, and he kind of had like a last go around, and every team, came out and applauded him, because I think in my lifetime, well, I got to see Willie Stargell play, and Bonds was there, but he's one of the top 3 or 4 players that's ever played for Pittsburgh in my lifetime. So I didn't know how you felt about that, about the player wanting to stick around one more year. And I at least think he's owed a phone call and tell him the direction they
yeah,
want to go.
I know they've brought in a lot of prospects, and they've got a great farm. They've drafted well lately, and they've got a
Yeah,
lot of talent in the farm system. Now, that's why they're called prospects. You never know,
that's
are they
true.
going to? I don't think they're ready to contend this year. I would have said, okay, if you want to come back for one more year, come back for one more year. Um, Pittsburgh has had so little to cheer about,
I'm with you.
since those '90s playoff teams, and he was the heart of what they've had. The only thing they've really had to cheer about for the last 30 years. So I think that I don't think they should have just owed him a phone call. I think they should have just said, come back for one more year, do the rounds, let everybody say goodbye. Um, because I do understand if Pittsburgh was ready to compete and they want the best players on the roster spots, I can understand that, but I just don't see them ready to compete. I see them ready to be more competitive.
Yeah.
But I don't see them ready to compete, especially now that the Cubs are kind of stacked. And even though the Cubs are stacked and they're projected to win the division, and the Mets lost Peralta, or the Brewers lost Peralta, trade him to the Mets, I'm still picking the Brewers. In my mind, the Brewers are the class of the division until someone else proves them wrong.
Yeah.
It's been that way for about 8-10 years now. So
Pretty good.
we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, and even if we took Pujols the last year, it was late. We gave him a contract for a 1-year contract late that year. And that was the same year that we started having DHs in the National League. I don't think if the Cardinals had a DH, Pujols would have came back. We would have had him come back. But he came back, and I remember the first half of the year, he wasn't doing too well. And when he went to the All-Star game that year, he was going to compete in the home run derby. And I was like, oh, no. I hope he just don't embarrass himself, because the young guys out there and his power numbers aren't what they used to be. And all of a sudden, he got to the first round. I was so happy for him. And he came back, and that was a year we just snuck we had that 17-game winning streak, and we got in the playoffs. And, we lost in the first round, but we gave the Dodgers a real good fight. And there was like magic in the air. And I tell you what, if the Pirates are out of it, and they have a McCutcheon Day at the ballpark, it'll be packed. The fans will show up. They'll have a big celebration, and I'd like to see that. Now, the season hasn't started yet. Anything's possible. So I hope through that message that they reach out to him and at least have him come and be part of the team or something like that down the stretch.
Yeah.
For the year. Yeah, that's right. The only last thing I got, Vince, is I don't know if you heard of this. Brady Anderson is going to come back with the Angels and be their hitting coach. And a lot of people said he hasn't had any formal coaching experience, but he has been like a roving instructor and done things like that. It's a name from the past. I always think of that one year he hit the 52 home runs out of nowhere, but he had a long career, and I'd like to see the names come back and play. I mean, McGuire's been a hitting coach. Bonds has been a hitting coach. Why not Brady Anderson? So I'm glad he's back and working with the Angels.
Yeah, and I mean he can tell the kids, hey, this is how you become a hitter. You grow the sideburns like I did.
Cool sideburns.
Inject the juice,
and it'll fly out of there.
Yeah. So what's going on with the Cardinals?
Not a whole lot. We haven't hit any signings this week or anything, but this is kind of comical. Yadier Molina has got a new job with the Cardinals. Now, I know what you're going to say, Vince. You're going to say, well, he had a job with them last year. But for some reason, I don't think they put it in writing that he had to show up for the job. He was never here. He showed up in uniform twice, and it was nice. The crowd loves Yadi. But he will be, and he's got a new title. He will be the assistant to president of baseball operations, and he will be mentoring the young catchers. We have 5 highly projected catchers in our system, and advisor to game strategy, which I've never heard of that one, and changing or working with the team's defense and championship culture. All right. So Yachty's been, we've had some good years with Yachty. I'm glad he's back. I hope he's here. He will be coaching Team Puerto Rico in the World Baseball Classic, which is great. And Vince, it seems to me like they're kind of grooming Yachty to eventually be the coach of the team. He wants to manage. So it's good that he's getting up in the front office and working that part of it, working down with the young players. Seems like he's going to be everywhere and doing that. And it looks like, Ollie better watch Watch himself, or Yachty will be managing this team in no time. And a little side note, since Yachty's the coach of Puerto Rico team, Nolan Arenado is just announced that he will play for Team Puerto Rico. I don't know the connection. I don't know. Can you just say, hey, I'm playing for the Netherlands? I don't know how that works, but Nolan Arenado is going to be on Team Puerto Rico, and I did not know he was Puerto Rican, but good. I'm glad that he'll be out there playing. And their first game is March 5th versus Canada, so that should be good. And Francisco Lindor has been named team captain of Team Puerto Rico, so that's just some stuff we can look forward to. And March 5th, Vince, that doesn't sound far away. Here we are at the end of January, and March 5th, this stuff is all going to get started up and going. The Cardinals also invited David Freese and Adam Wainwright to spring training, and they will be in uniform, running drills and advising players. And that's good. I mean, that's nice to see. I think that's a great part of spring training, seeing the young players, seeing the guy, our favorites coming back, and all of a sudden you see the palm trees and the green grass, and you see these legend players coming back and helping out. It looks like David Freese may be a bigger part of the organization here in the short here soon, because it seems like he's doing more and more stuff with the team. So that's good. I like that. And the other big thing with the Cardinals is Brendan Donovan. A lot of rumors. Is he going to be with the team opening day? It looks more and more like it. And I like how Chaim Bloom's doing this. He's got a certain in the deal, he wants certain things, and he's just not going to give them away. I think the Cardinals will be pretty. I like Brendan Donovan. I love to see him as a Cardinal, but if we got something really good for him, a power bat or a starting pitcher, I would be a young one who's got a lot of years still on this contract. I'd like to see that too. So however it goes, I'll be happy either way. And Vince, that is pretty much Cardinal news.
Yeah, and I do want to remind Cardinal fans, if Yachty does become the manager, he is going to get fired, because managers get fired.
They get fired.
And you almost universally, when a player comes back to manage, it's not the same. I go back to Kenny Boyer when he managed the Cardinals.
And we love Boyer, but yeah,
I got canned. And then you look at Joe Torre when he managed the Cardinals. Former Cardinal, came back and it didn't work out there. That's just the nature of managing. You go through your ups and downs, and there's very few Tony La Russas. Most managers get fired. And just because a player was a great player and a team leader, that doesn't always translate that they're going to be a successful manager. And I'm not saying he's not going to be a successful manager. I'm just saying chances are overwhelming that he will at one point get fired.
Oh, yeah.
Don't let it tarnish his legacy, though. That's why I never wanted to see Ryan Sandberg come back and manage the Cubs, even though he wanted the job, because I thought he's going to get fired. And I don't want to see that. I don't. It hurts when a Joe Madden gets fired. It hurts when, I liked Ricky Renteria when he got fired. It's like, it hurts when they get fired. And I don't want to see a legend come back in Chicago and then get fired. If Rizzo said I want to manage a team, I'd say, no, don't.
The catchers seem to have a good run here lately, especially of managing teams, so who knows? But I know Yachty, one thing though you would hate, this is even worse than all that. If Yachty went to, say, the Reds and he managed them and he took them to a World Series, oh, that would hurt even more, Vince. That would rip my heart out right there.
I don't know, when Sandberg went to manage the Phillies, I wanted the Phillies to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Cubby news, we've already talked about the signings of Dylan Carlson and Chase McCormick. That's going to create that competition with Kevin Alcantara for the fourth outfield. So that will be interesting. Matt Shaw is also taking fly balls in the outfield. So, as I said a few weeks ago, if I'm the Cubs, tell Ben Zobrist work with him. And I don't know if Zobrist is working with him, but he certainly is. Taking the fly balls in the outfield. He's still a Gold Glove caliber infielder. We could use him as a super utility player. He's going to have to hit a little bit better than he did last year, though. He's going to have to put a full season together like he did the second half. Also, Pat Hughes, the radio voice of the Cubs. Pat Hughes right there with Ron Santo.
Yes.
He is going to hang it up after this year.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
So I've been listening to Pat Hughes for, I think he's been with the Cubs about 30 years. And
Really?
I've always loved him. He's great. And he's really good with he was really good with Ron Santo, and he's really good with Ron Coomer. And sometimes when he's in the TV booth, because Boot can't be there, he's really good with JD. He's really good with Sutcliffe or whomever's in there. Just a professional, and uh, he's optimistic, but he's not. He's got a sense of realism. He is a fan, and that's what you want from your announcers. You want them to be fans. So that's going to be kind of sad. It's been announced that now that the Cubs have signed Alex Bregman, he has announced that he will be playing for Team USA, joining PCA and Matt Boyd. Very cool. And the Cubs have said the Marquee is only going to televise 10 spring training games this year, which is sad. I kind of like watching spring training games. So, who else likes watching spring training games?
The one, the only, Jeremy Connor loves spring training.
Love spring training games. Comes a time in every man's life when he needs some advice on relationships. You need to listen to the podcast DMDR, which stands for Dating, Marriage, Divorce, Remarriage, from my good friend Jeremy Connor, the Dr. Phil of the Boot Hill. You can find DMDR on Spotify or whatever platform you choose to listen to your podcast. JJ and I, we're going to be negative.
Negative
Nellies. We're going to talk about the 7 uniforms in Major League Baseball that we despise. And I had to narrow it down to 7. I didn't realize there were so many. I thought, I don't like that. And I don't know about JJ. I only put one City Connect jersey in here because it is so bad. So bad. I didn't want to put City Connects, being they're not like regular uniforms, that happen just home when you're on Friday. But this one is so bad. I had to put it on there. But other than that, everything else is regular uniforms. So, JJ, you start. You
7?
start negativity.
All right, we're going to start with 7 and work down to 1. And my 7th for me, it is a City Connect, but I think at the beginning of the year, the team has to submit like 5 uniforms, 2 home, 2 away, and a City Connect, because they've got to deal with the people who make it. But my least favorite, because this team here has so many options and team colors, but for some reason, and I've got a picture here, this is a gray top, white pants. They Washington Nationals. I do not like that. And they have a WSH on the thing. And I just think, man, they really missed it. They could have really made it colorful, because they have white and red as their colors. And they just went with this dull gray kind of top right there. So that is my least favorite, number 7 of ugliest uniforms in baseball history.
My number 7 is the Philadelphia Phillies 1979 ketchup red head to toe uniforms. Mike Schmidt, Pete Rose, Gary Maddox, they look like a bunch of Heinz ketchup bottles out there trying to play baseball. The absolute most disgusting look. They only had those uniforms for 1 year because Nobody liked them. You
Oh
do not
yeah.
look like a Hall of Famer when you look like you belong on the table at a picnic. Mike
Yeah, it
Smith,
was.
Rose, Steve Carlton. Nah, that look was not good.
Oh. Well, this again is a City Connect, and I will. First of all, I'm going to show this is a classic uniform, and you don't mess with the classic. This is typically what a Red Sox uniform looks like. Isn't that beautiful? You got the monster back there, just classic lettering and everything for the Boston Red Sox. But for some reason, they thought they wanted to celebrate Patriots Day or something, and they went with this yellow, like they're working on a highway. What the heck? I don't know. Maybe they got to deal with the people who have a lot of yellow coloring and they made these uniforms. But even the helmet, you're the Red Sox. You got to have red in your uniform somewhere. And look at this. This is just a complete disaster right there. Fashion disaster, Vince, right there. The yellow Boston Red Sox jerseys. Oh, you can see them a mile away, but ugly, very ugly uniform.
And Vince is going to get back to that uniform later on in the list. Okay. Um, my next, number 6, the Baltimore Orioles, early 1970s, and I call it pure pumpkin. Orange from head to toe, and they look plain goofy. I don't know how someone thought, it would be cool. Pumpkin orange on pumpkin orange with a little bit of lettering. Other than that, I I mean, I'm sure when they were playing, they were looking for Linus, looking for pumpkin. They look so bad, and I've got I've got pictures of all these. I edit this after we do this, so I'm adding the pictures after. So I'll have pictures of all the uniforms, but check that out. It's
Check it out.
ugly.
Well, Vince, I went back old time. Now, remember back in the 70s, we had Technicolor and all that, but I'm going to go even further back. Now, in the early days, it was just real basic. But some of those uniforms ideas, there was the Yankees. They didn't have the NY on there at one time. Babe Ruth days, they didn't even have that. So the uniform has sort of evolved. But in 1944, the Brooklyn Dodgers, to celebrate night games. The first night game was May 24th, 1935, the Philadelphia Phillies at the Cincinnati Reds. But in 1944 in Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Dodgers trotted out these silk uniforms that were real shiny. And they thought, oh, the fans will be able to see the players better in these silk. It's almost like pajamas. And they were blue, but they were sort of like a baby blue, a bright baby blue. And if you see these uniforms, you know why they didn't last. And they sort of went back and were going to pay tribute to these uniforms, but they were so ugly that they canned the idea. So if you get a chance, look in the old books, 1944 Brooklyn Dodgers silk night uniforms. And it's something to see right there, I tell you.
I think it sounds sexy.
Come down with your pipe like a Hugh Hefner kind of
Yeah.
look.
Everybody get your lingerie out there and go play baseball. uh, my next one is a recent one. I absolutely do not like the Colorado Rockies purple top uniforms. There are some colors like ketchup red and pumpkin orange that do not belong in baseball. And I'm going to get to one right after a couple more that don't belong just because of the colors. But purple is not an intimidating color. And I just think that they look goofy. But I do like them better than their City Connect ones that are green for some reason with the mountains and everything. That's too busy. But like I said, I'm kind of shying away from that. But the Rockies purple uniforms, I think, are disgusting. So I won't.
Man, you give it to them. You know, but sometimes when you change uniforms, time goes by and maybe you can go revisit that uniform and it'd be something like nostalgic or something. Maybe I remember the Patriots used to have that Patriot man in the in the set thing on the side of the helmet.
Yeah.
And then they got the new uniforms. And when they went back to the old Patriot uniforms, I was like, man, the Steve Grogan uniforms. I was like, oh man, I really miss those. Or when the Bengals, who had that cat claw thing on the side, they went back to the bingo on the side. Every once in a while, it's kind of nice to see that. So maybe they can salvage something out this, and this time period will be remembered with those ugly purple uniforms. All right, my number 4, and Vince, they only wore this for a couple of games. But this is a true story. In April of 2009, the Nationals had their what looks like their normal uniforms, but they had Nationals on it. Little change in the lettering, but they forgot to put the O at the end. They misspelled the word Nationals on the uniforms. They were running around for 2 games with the name of their team misspelled. Nobody caught this. I've seen this a few times where they have things misspelled on uniforms. I saw a wrestling manager, but he didn't have the second A, and it was Manger. He just had it said Manger on it, and he was out there raising Cain. So if you're going to have a team, somebody out there is going to have to check things and make sure it's spelled correctly. So if you can get a hold of this, maybe national misspelled uniform, it might be worth something. So that's my number 4.
My number 4 is the Florida Marlins 1990s teal uniforms.
Oh,
There is nothing intimidating about teal. The Miami Dolphins have went to that, and I think it's just not a good color. If you want to use it as an accent color like the Dolphins used to do, because Dolphins are kind of teal, I get that. But the teal uniforms, I just thought were ugly, and they did not look. I'm not saying that everything has to look traditional, but there was no hint of it being traditional at all. I just despise those uniforms of the 1990s Marlins.
all right, number 3. And I've got a couple of cards from that year. That's what I was doing. I was going through my cards when I got home, and I was looking through this 1970s Cleveland Indians. And Vince, I like if your jersey's one color, I like a different color for the pants. But they went with that total velvet crush kind of thing. And I always think and they had the hat with just the C on it. And they've had better hats in their day, but it kind of looked like that. There's Charlie Spikes. Remember old Charlie Spikes? Total. It's almost all red crushed velvet look to it. And the other one, I have a Ray Fosse card, and he hates that uniform so much he's hurrying and getting his catcher equipment on right there. So that red velvet, it's got a nice patch on the side, but I did not like that, and that team wasn't very good. So I think you just equate that uniform with bad baseball right there. And I'm glad they changed. Indians change their uniforms a lot.
2 things. It's almost the same thing as the Phillies uniform, but I went with the Phillies because the Phillies were a better team, so I saw them more in it.
That's right, National League. That's
The other
true.
thing, a little trivia about Charlie Spikes. His cousin was a Major League Baseball player, and his name was Jonathan Cleats.
Let's give Charlie another look right there. I always like Charlie Spikes. He always looked like an athlete, very fast, and I just like that guy.
My number 3, the San Diego Padres, 1972. I mean, I already talked about the Phillies ketchup uniforms. These were the mustard uniforms. They looked ridiculous. The yellow color that the Pirates had in the 70s, they don't look good today, but at the time they were really cool.
Oh,
The
yeah.
black uniforms with the yellow accents, and they had about 5 variations that they would wear, and some of them were a lot of yellow in it. But the Padres uniforms, they were not attractive at all. And so I almost had them as number 2, but my number 2 team is I kind of, all right, I'm going to put them number 3. But I would not even want to buy this jersey if someone gave me, hey, $2 and you can have a brand new 1972 Padres mustard uniform. And I would say no, because I would look like a hot dog wearing it with mustard on me. So, although people have accused me of being a weenie.
Yeah. All
So that's
right,
my
Vince.
number three.
My number two, and I have a couple cards here too. And Bill Veck. That's all you need to say, and you're gonna know. All of a sudden, you're gonna be transformed to 1976, and he messed. He was a visionary. He came up with a lot of great ideas, and he had like a throwback uniform. And so, anyway, this is Don Kessinger in the home uniform, and it had that collar on it that is very unique. That's reminiscent of like the turn of the century, some of the turn of the century uniforms with the sock hat. I like the hat, and I like the lettering of the uniform. But that was a home, and then I have a player in the away. But the other aspect was they were wearing shorts. Now they had a winning record in their shorts, but they were sliding and stealing bases. I don't know how the guys did it in shorts, and it didn't look good. I couldn't find any cards with the players in the shorts. But Vince, when you think of 1976 White Sox, is there a player you think of, that first player that comes to mind of that?
Wilbur Wood.
Oh, good. I had Ralph Garr. Ralph Garr is the kind of guy. Yeah, I like Ralph Garr a lot. There he is in the away black with the collar, the Chicago White Sox right there. So anyway, I have to say that the 76 White Sox ones was a disaster, but looking back on it, it was kind of fun too. But everybody remembers the shorts.
Okay, a couple things. They only wore the shorts a few games. They didn't
That's true.
wear for a whole season.
That is true. That is true.
So second thing, I loved those uniforms.
You do.
Okay. I loved they were untucked, and they generally wore the black black pants with the white, and then when they were on the road with the black, they would wear white pants. And my memories, because I watched a lot of White Sox when they were having that, guys would be standing at the plate and that shirt just kind of flopped because it was untucked. And everybody hated them but me. I thought that they looked really cool. I thought they looked throwback, yet a little modern. And when I played softball, I always played with my shirt untucked because, who cares in softball? It's not like anybody's, when I played high school ball, tuck it in, But I always had it untucked because I always liked that look. My number two is also the White Sox, but it was the uniform that preceded that one. They had a fan vote because nobody liked what they called the pajama top ones, except me. And they didn't ask me. They had a fan vote. What are we going to switch our uniforms to? So they marched out players. It was just shot once, but before all the games, like from about September through the end of the season, and remember, you can vote for the players, and here's so-and-so, and here's so-and-so, and they had about 4 or 5 different uniforms. The one they chose, I hate, the one with the big socks on it, white. Yuck. It is so vanilla. I hated it. And I think I hated it even more because I loved the previous uniform, which everybody hated. And now they got this new uniform that I hate, but everybody thinks is better. So, number two, the White Sox, 1980s, with socks in huge letter on the front. Hated it.
And they still incorporate that hat every once in a while with that.
They'll use that for throwback. But will they use the pajama top for throwback? No.
They ought to. Let's start a thing right now, write-in thing. I'll find. Let's get that going this year. That'd be fun.
Try to find. I want that jersey. I'm gonna try to find it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you can find it somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Vince, my number one is one you mentioned before. It's the 1972-73. They did use it for 2 years. The mustard-colored uniforms for the San Diego Padres, and I have a team picture right here of the whole. I know. Look back. It'll repel you. But there they are with the emblem. That's probably Jack Murphy Stadium. And there they all are in those red or those I don't know, yellow mustard uniforms right there. And the guy I think of on the team back then, this is pre Tony Gwynn, is old Nate Colbert. And there's old Nate Colbert, great mustache right there. But there he is smiling. And the White Sox and Padres are two teams that have switched uniforms quite a bit. And every once in a while, there'll be something I kind of like. And then 2 or 3 years later, they moved on to something else. And then Fred Kendall right there at catcher with his Padre uniform right there. Kind of like the hats. They still kind of have a variation of that hat to this day. But that's my least favorite in my pretty much my lifetime of seeing all these uniforms. Least favorite was that the baseball cards look terrible in those uniforms.
There's a lot of City Connects that I like, and then there are some that I don't like. Like I've already said, the Rockies. I don't like that. I don't like the Padres camo one.
Oh yeah,
I'm not a fan of that. But the absolute worst you've already talked about, the Red Sox yellow City Connect, which makes no sense to me. I do not like that uniform. And I don't know if they've replaced it because a lot of these first generation of City Connects have been replaced. The Cubs replaced their first generation of City Connects with a new one. I just cannot stand that uniform. When your team is the Red Sox, red should be prominent.
I agree. Yes.
Like, what is the polar opposite of red? Yellow. We'll really screw with the fans and we'll put a yellow team out there. Ah. And then there's some that I'm just not a fan of. One year when the Cubs had it cursive and everybody thought it said Cuba, I even have one of the jerseys that have the Cubs in cursive. I didn't particularly like that, but the reason I bought it is because it does look like it says Cuba instead of Cubs. I'll be honest with you, I'm going to be crucified. I cannot stand the Cardinals powder blue. That made no sense to me because traditionally the Cardinals have been white or gray up to that point, home or away, and they had the classic emblem that they've varied over the years, but they've kind of kept the same spirit of the emblem. And all of a sudden they come up with these powder blue stuff. And I remember the first time I saw them, I may have seen them before but I didn't have a color TV until like the late 70s. So I thought, my gosh, why are they wearing the powder blue uniforms? And then I thought it was funny, like they had when Valenzuela was pitching for the Cardinals, they had a throwback night and he was quite portly and he had that powder blue uniform on. Oh
yeah, it's not very attractive. That's true for us bigger folks.
He kind of looked like
Oompa Loompa or something like one of those.
I was thinking about when Violet looked to a grave.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, God rest Fernando. But anyway, that's our ugly uniforms. And
send in your ideas. Let us know your least favorites. We'll talk about it on here.
I'm sure they're all going to say, I hate the Cubs. Cubs uniforms suck.
Oh,
uniforms suck. I've got 1988 tops.
Ooh, I went back with the 2025 update set with Mr. PCA right there Mr. on the front.
PCA.
There he is, getting ready to do some hitting.
Doing some PCA and
that's right.
JJ, would you like a stick of gum? It is all together.
I'm laying off the gum. That's one of my New Year's resolutions. No gum in
it's not quite 40 years old, so it's pretty good shape.
I'll put it in a drawer. I'll eat it later.
See, if someone breaks into my house, I'll just stab them with
a gun. Yeah. I'm sure they'll get some sort of infection.
First of all, I'm sure these have like all kind of toxic nuclear crap in them. Otherwise, how would they survive this long? Second of all, they're sharp. Even when I would eat these fresh when I was a kid, I would always guys, gums start bleeding and everything. So these things are weapons.
But Seinfeld used to say about Pop-Tarts, which you could say about these pieces of gum, that they never go stale because they were never fresh. That's right.
Oh, I'm going to say 3 Hall of Famers I'm feeling it tonight.
I'm saying one. I'm saying one.
And I didn't get a Hall of Famer with Doug Sisk, but he was a pretty decent pitcher.
Yeah.
There. Like
Good card. I like that action card of him.
Former Cub, former Cardinal, Steve Lake.
Remember Steve Lake?
You remember that rock group from the 70s, Lake?
Emerson, Lake, and Palmer, right?
No, they were just called Lake, and they had
Oh,
one minor hit called Time Bomb.
no, I don't know that.
It was a cheesy song. Time bomb, come and blow me up. Yeah, terrible.
And it was a hit?
It was a minor hit.
Oh, okay. Minor hit.
Okay. You've heard the song. You probably just didn't.
Probably have. I don't recall it though.
Yeah. So, former Mariner, current. I think he's on. Is he on ESPN now? Major League Network. One of Harold Reynolds.
Oh, I love Harold Reynolds.
Fantastic personality.
Yeah, good player too. Stole a lot of bases.
Former Ranger left-hander Paul Kilgis. Remember him?
Okay. All right.
Hall of Famer, the late great Tony Gwynn.
Oh yeah, what a hitter!
Awesome. Very good reliever for the Astros and the Red Sox, Joe Zambito.
Oh yeah, I remember him mainly as an Astro. In that bullpen.
Yeah. For the Cubs, left-hander didn't have much of a career. Mike Mason.
Okay, don't know. Remember him?
We got him from the Rangers, and his ERA was always in the fours, so tough. This guy was a really good pitcher, left-hander, hard thrower, and he has been maligned over the years because he got traded for Randy Johnson. Mariners gave the Expos Randy Johnson, and the Expos thought that Langston was going to take them to the playoffs, and he didn't, and kind of petered out from there.
He was good.
1987 Expos team leaders right there.
Oh, okay.
They lead the league in putting their hands on their knees. That's awesome. All right. Guess who led the Expos in home runs in 1987?
1987. Maybe Larry Walker?
A little before him.
Galarraga?
A little before him.
Vladimir Guerrero?
Same time.
Oh, man. Who would that be then? Dawson wasn't there. He was a Cub by that time.
Tim Wallach.
Oh, third baseman Tim Wallach. I like Tim Wallach.
Yep.
I wouldn't have thought he led the team in home runs with all that talent on there.
Guess who led the team in wins with 13?
Maybe Bill Gullickson?
Neil Heaton.
I remember him as a Pirate. Oh, yeah, Neil Heaton. Well, I'll be darned.
For the Rangers, I got Dwayne Henry.
I do remember him. It seems like he played with somebody else. Maybe Oakland, maybe?
I don't know.
Okay.
He's just Ranger on this.
Okay.
For the Orioles, we have Jeff Ballard, pitcher. I do remember him.
I do too.
Former Cub, former Yankee, former Indian, former rapist, currently incarcerated, Mel Hall.
We run into more Mel Hall cards. It seems like every month.
I will always talk.
Yeah,
he will always be introduced as rapist or pedophile because, man, I just don't have mercy for people who do that.
No, I understand completely.
Former Met, former White Sox, former Padre, Bill Almage, middle infielder.
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah, decent
He looks
guy.
like Craig Counsell in that picture. He looks like Craig Counsell a little bit.
Maybe he is Craig Counsell. I've never seen him in the same room together.
Mm-mm.
The last two could be Hall of Famers.
Oh,
This one I think should be a Hall of Famer. We've talked about who should be, and I've always put him up there. Tommy John.
Tommy John. He will one day. I think he will one day.
And a very young, pre-roided up Mark McGuire.
Yeah, well, he done that to himself, but he did have a lot of talent.
Now he played for the Cardinals, didn't he, for a while?
Yeah, he played for the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
I was so much fun with him and Sosa. I mean, that was just exciting. And I remember the night he broke the record, I was at the movies and I went, me and Faith went to see something about Mary. I think was the movie we went and see, and kind of brings it all together there. But that was the night he hit 62. And I mean, that was exciting times. We were either naive or didn't realize what was going on with the players at that time. But man, it was exciting.
I I didn't I didn't realize it. I kind of thought maybe something was going on, but I thought it was more the ball was juice.
Oh,
That
yes.
that's what I was thinking. But when it really started hitting home, not when there were allegations and everything, when I got YouTube and I would look at games just 20 years ago, and the players just looked like different animals. They were lean. They were not muscle bound. I watching one of the All-Star games and Dale Murphy, who led the league in home runs that years up the bat. I'm thinking, gosh, he looks like a skinny drink of water. And that's kind of when it hit home for me how much juicing really changed people.
Well, they always talked about nutrition, and they had weight programs, which the other guys they'd get off after the ball game, would maybe drink 3 or 4 beers and hang out, then go home and get sleep for the next day. But so I thought, wow, man, they've got these nutritionists and they're really taking supplements. Well, they were taking supplements, but I thought it was something you could just, a protein shake or something like that.
And Babe Ruth, he would roll out of bed with a hangover, probably a couple STDs, and then he'd go out and hit a couple home runs, eat 10 hot dogs, and
That shows you how great he was. He did
yeah,
everything wrong, everything you're not supposed to do, and he still was the Bambino. Well, Vince, I've got these cards, and these are updated. So most of these are guys that just made their debuts last year or got traded at the end of the year. So most of these players we won't know. But here's a rookie card. Speaking of the Rockies, we talked about them today. Chase Dolander. It's a pitching card. Very good photography. The future of the sport or the hobby, they've really got good photography now with Rockies on the side there. But then the second card, you like Chase Dolander so much, there's a second Chase Dolander card, another rookie one. What the heck is going on, folks? For all you Chase Dolander fans, we double dipped on him today. This is a Arizona Diamondback. Let's see, what position this guy play? Catcher, Jose Herrera from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Good looking kid. Good looking kid right there. Straight up bat stance. Oh, get back JoJo. St. Louis Cardinal reliever JoJo Romero, one of the few guys that are still on the team this year. As of this minute, there could be breaking news at any time that JoJo may go to another team, but right there, he's still in our bullpen. JoJo Romero. We have
a visitor.
Oh, our friend is back. Yes. Well,
Hey,
pitcher Carlos Duran of the Sacramento Athletics. There he is right there.
I don't think they're calling themselves Sacramento. I think just the A's.
Okay.
It's probably a licensing.
Oh.
Nobody can see me. I know you're better looking.
Oh. By the way, people write me when Bing Bong shows up. They go, "Oh, the cat
Get your butt out of the camera, dude. Come on, get in my lap. Come on, get in my lap. Come on. Get your butt out of the camera. There you go. Oh, no, you tumbled. And there you go. All right.
All right. Well, Pittsburgh Pirate, Adam Frazier, when we were in Pittsburgh last year, we saw him play. Now, he played one game at third and one game in left field, but there he is right there. He's been around the league a little while. Let's see who else we got here. CJ Alexander, a athletic third baseman. One of the Athletics third basemen right there. Young team. By the time they hit Vegas, they ought to be competitive. Thomas Harrington from the Pirates, right there. Pirates have a lot of good young prospects. They've got the #1 prospect coming up this year, Connor Griffith.
Yeah.
He's the big prospect this year, so keep an eye out for that. You'll probably get a lot of playing time in Pittsburgh. Let's see. Darian Blanco from the Kansas City Royals. And speaking of good uniforms, I love the Royal Baby Blues. That's just a classic uniform right there. Minnesota Twin Luke Keschel, and he's a rookie. This is his rookie card, second baseman for the Twins right there.
Oh, he gets dirty. I like him.
Yeah, Lenny Dykstra type of filthy player right there. Oh, Zach Bean, a Rocky, but it's one of those chrome cards. Very nice.
Oh,
I don't know this guy, but I like that card a lot. Look at that right there. All right. We have, speaking of Zach, it's the Zach Bean pack too. Look at this. It's future stars, Zach Bean, Colorado Rockies. How about that?
I like that card too. It's
You
awesome.
know, there was a town that was I'm from a town, people are going to laugh, but I'm from a little town in Arkansas, Piggott, Arkansas. And it's about, I don't know, 4,000 people. There's a town that's probably 13 miles away, Greenway, Arkansas, and it's only 250 people. And for years they had a school. They only graduated like 8 to 12 people a year. And I thought if I transferred to that school, I could have been valedictorian. You know what I mean? The chance to be being valedictorian, I got a real good shot at it. So that's how I feel about Zach Bean. You know, to get a star card for your team, you know, you're with the Rockies, you got a better shot at getting a star card. So play with the Rockies, more playing time, you know? I don't know. Shout out to Greenway, Arkansas, by the way. They don't have a school anymore there. All right. It's Mike Bassel from the White Sox. And I like that. They throw one of these in every once in a while. One of these fancy cards right there. So, Vince, that's it for me. I was just showing off all these rookie cards and young players and prospect cards, basically, except for JoJo Romero there.
My nephew, I think this is about 2004, so it's been 20 years. He graduated from Kashkanog High School, south of West Plains.
Okay.
So I go to his graduation, and they had about 18 students, but it was a combined high school and junior high graduation.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, oh, that's going to go fast. There's not that many students. It was the longest graduation I think I've been to.
For 18?
My daughter graduated from Belleville East, and she had like 700 people in her graduating class. They just got them through. This one, no, they talked about every student, all their accomplishments and everything, and they had speakers and everything. No air conditioning in this gym. We are sweating like bullets.
Yeah.
And I was like, my gosh, why do nobody likes graduations? Not even the graduates. I thought the graduations were boring. You know, get it over in an hour, please. You only got 18 students, both of them. Thank you. No air conditioning in here. And my brother-in-law was getting ready, and he came out. He's wearing jeans, and my sister said, "You need to go put on some slacks. We're going to a graduation." He said, "Cindy, there's going to be people there without shoes." He was right. There were people there without shoes. And I tell you, I'm pretty rednecky myself, but I'm not going to go to a combined high school, junior high graduation without shoes.
I'm with you.
I think that's only biblical. I think that's what Jesus would have done.
He wore sandals. That's what the pictures show. I'm guessing he wore sandals. I don't know.
I think he wore pumps, Nike pumps myself.
Kangaroos.
All right. Well, everybody, tune in next week. We're going to have a guest. We're going to have Matt Todd join us from Colorado. And we will see you then.
All right. Take care, everybody.